I decided to take a stroll. Thought I'd take y'all on the stroll with me. One of the young G homies hit me up with a question a few days ago. And he wanted me to kick something about when was the right age for a homie to put the gang banging on the back burner. Well, I'm going to keep it uncut. And I'm going to give you the short answer. There's no better time as I reach this bridge. Bridges represent a crossroad. They represent moving from one side of the river, one side of one place, to the other. So I thought it would be fitting for me to go on it, touch on that, expound on it, kick a G perspective on it. There's no better time than now to put the banging on the back burner. Matter of fact, to put the banging away, period. But of course, it's never that simple. So we have to break it down a little bit. It's obvious if you're a wannabe, if you're looking to join something, or if you just got in, then you need to reverse the direction. You need to find something that's far more constructive with your energy. Now, it doesn't mean that if you live in a certain hood or you live in a certain area, that you don't keep it copacetic with those who are the gang members. But be known as the dude, whether it's one side or the other. One side says, well, yeah, he lives in the hood, but he don't bang. And then the other side says, oh yeah, he lives over there, but he ain't from over there. He's cool. Instead, spend your time building skill sets that will give you the freedom to stack up experiences, give you the mobility that you deserve to go check out stuff. Spend that time gaining skill sets in the technology space, whether it's coding, whether it's cryptography, whether it's blockchain tech, whether it's front end, back end. Gain skill sets in those areas. Spend your time gaining those skill sets. Spend your time acquiring friendships and associations with people who have those skill sets. If it's that compelling because of where you live, either move, go live with a relative, or commit to activities that aren't in your neighborhood, that aren't in the hood. Or commit to activities that are in your neighborhood, but that are away from those type of people who are drawing you in to the neighborhood. Respect your time, because life is short. And spend it on things that are constructive. Spend it on things that are going to better you. Spend it on things that are going to build you up. Think about your future. As for those who have been banging, there's still no better time than now. I'm standing at this bridge. You know whether it's been constructive. I understand that it's difficult to walk away. Well, I will advise you to occupy your time with things that are going to build you up so that you're a better man, mentally, physically, and financially in a year's time, in 3 years' time, in 5 years' time. There's no better time than now. And that can be done in a whole host of ways. Once again, occupying your time. It's like the homie who we all had a homie who used to work and would only come around in the evening, would only come around after work. Wouldn't stay for very long because he worked hard and he was tired. So he missed a lot of stuff. Take those same things that you know and figure out how to apply that in the context you need it. That boils down basically to at least for 8 hours, 10 hours of the day, he was preoccupied with something else. Something that exhumed or something that utilized energy. And that utilized energy was stored in something, i.e. money, to be used or spent on a future date. The homie that don't live in the hood, lives a distance. He misses a gang of the BS. If it means moving away, then do so. If it means getting in your car and being occupied with something outside of the hood, occupied and building association with people outside of the hood, you know which homies that you maybe can continue to fuck with and ones you need to shake completely. And it ain't necessarily that you got anything against them. It could be, I'm not down with your get down. I don't agree with how you conduct yourself. But you got a right to do that with you. I'm just not fucking with you like that. Maybe you're just an outright idiot. I understand more than most the psychological, the human behavioral, the needs aspect, the communal, the tribal aspects of gangbanging. And that's a whole nother video. It fulfills a need that is encoded and embedded, especially in young men. That's what rites or rite of passages were about. We don't have that. And so when you combine things like poverty and despair, fatherless homes, crime, then the gangs tend to fill that void that should have been filled on a tribal level. In that rite of passage. But once again, that's a whole nother. So now understanding that it does key in to certain human behavioral triggers, we have to find other ways. We have to find ways to ease off that trigger and find new triggers. There's different degrees of stepping back. Maybe you pick and choose a few homies that you know that ain't on the dumb shit. Want to live. Want to enjoy life. And you always inputting activities that are outside of the bullshit. Traveling. Mountain biking. Camping. Boating. Fishing. Or just traveling. It could be as simple as, if you're into basketball, y'all go have pickup games. Y'all find pickup games. You're into training. Y'all train together. When I talk about that need, that the camaraderie that the gang members have comes from something that's embedded in us. The problem with gangbanging was that it was an end to no means. Understand, organizations like a plumbers union, the electricians union, you know, the service union, you know, all those different types of organizations, they have an objective. The primary objective is to have better standards, better income, and easier ability to provide those services to the general public for whatever that group may be, whether it's plumbers, electricians, etc. The gangbanging didn't do that. It didn't take its strength in numbers and use it to build. That's what tribes do. The tribe members build one hut and then they build another hut because they understand that 2 heads, 4 fists, 6 fists, 10 spears, 10 swords was better than one. One person was good at hunting. One person was good at fishing. One person was good at tending to the huts, making them more livable. One person was good at farming. One person was good at trapping. And they built upon that. But understand, it wasn't meant from the ground up for our strength in numbers to be used in any other way but to destroy us from within. So now I say, for those who have lived that life, have been in it, there's a portion of you, whether you choose to admit it or not, that in some sense, it's like an addiction. That's why it's so hard for dudes to often get out and not go right back to the hood. Or to hood stuff, to hood shit. So recognizing that need, recognizing that, and it's not a weakness, there's a reason for it. We wouldn't have survived as humans without that need for camaraderie. You just now have to redirect it. You got to wean yourself off of the hood and that hood shit. It's a whole bigger world out here. I mean, there's a whole host of things that come with that. Changing your get down, how you move. Everybody don't necessarily need to know who you are, where you're from, everywhere you move. When people meet me, they don't know my background. My last term, if you didn't know me, you didn't know my background. All you knew is he not the one to fuck with. He don't fuck with nobody. He ain't with the bullshit. And that's that. This last term I did. And if you listen to any of my videos, you know that I did my last term completely different than I've done any of my other terms. Like I said, if you didn't know me, then you didn't know my background. I wasn't coming all gullible, introducing myself to everybody. My mindset was like this: who the fuck are you? I've walked lines and held mine, held a corner. I don't gotta check in. Not at none of the prison tables. If you know me, we can hit a lap or two and chop it up. But I wasn't, this term, I didn't come there looking for friends or likes. So I ended up in the optical lab in Donovan. I went through a whole host of stuff to get there. My objective was to be in programs that I knew I would learn something from, skill sets that would benefit me in the future. I became a certified optician. So I ended up at the Donovan Optical Lab. We were doing like 1,700 pair of glasses a day. I was final inspecting like anywhere from 5 to about 700 a day. I became an American Board of Optometry certified optician. Scored the highest that anybody in the lab had ever scored. Show you the certificate. So anyway, that yard was a yard that was designed. It was a level 3, but it was a secure level 3, meaning that there were more programs and you got more programs, even though there was still a higher security level. And this is the lowest level that a lifer could go to. So they only had a few of these spots that had bomb programs. At that time, Donovan happened to be one. They've since given, from what I know, the whole yard to PCs. When they end up giving our yard to the PCs, they moved us to this other yard. And while I was on that yard, there were some solid brothers that was there. Bloods, Crips, the whole mix. Matter of fact, one that I can think of offhand was Big Football. Not Little Football, who was involved in the LA riots and the Reginald Denning and all that, pulling him out the truck. He was Little Football. There was a Big Football who had all day. I met him in the chapel. Solid dude, solid brother, not with none of the bullshit. Healthy, mind right. And there was a few other brothers. There was another brother. I hate that I can't remember his name, but I know that a few years prior to that, his son had got killed. He was from Compton. His son had got killed. He had all day. So there was a few of us. Oh, so we had youngsters that were coming on the yard and wanted to change their lives. And you had dudes that was giving them resistance and pushing up on that. So me, Football, and another brother and a few other brothers, we bailed to the yard. Bailed to the in the middle of the whole crowd where most of the drama was going on. And let everybody know in the yard, you're going to have to come through us if you think we're going to allow you to stop some youngsters from choosing to change their lives. Now, we understand how the get down is when it comes to banging. So if y'all need fair ones, they're still men. They got to stand up for that. But ain't going to be no peer pressure. Ain't going to be no jumping. Ain't going to be no fear factoring and all that to prevent youngsters from not making an attempt to change their lives. Even though we know a lot of them are just doing it probably for some type of protection. But as older brothers that pushed up was like, hey, we got kids. How the fuck we look like letting somebody else direct somebody else's kids into some bullshit and not stand up? So we pushed up. We pushed up. And they recognized that and bowed it the fuck down. Y'all got a problem with that? We can solve it right now. So when I say that, when I'm talking about now is the time, I've lived with those words. And that's how I got down this last term. There's no better time than now, homie. But I'm telling you like this. If you for real, then you need to set a path for your life, a direction that has objectives, and start living towards those objectives. But that means you can't be wiggly wobbly. Yeah, there's certain people that you know you're going to get down with or get down for. But you got to start calling the bullshit. Because the less bullshit you call, the more potential conflicts that you put yourself in the crosshairs because of association. But cross that bridge, young homie. There's a whole bunch of shit you ain't never been exposed to waiting on the other side just for you. And I'm not talking about the bullshit. You know what honor is. You know what keeping it real is. You know what having character is. You carry that with you. Across that bridge, young homie. Cross that bridge, dog. I don't normally say this even on the videos, but I'm gonna say it this time. That's from Big Deb. For the rest of y'all, it's Dr. Little John from a G perspective. Peace. I'm out. One other thing. If you leave it in good standing, can't nobody tell you shit. Be respectful. Don't be a fool. Maintain usalamu while you doing your thing. But don't be a fool. You're going to have fools that not going to like it. Don't give them fuel that leads you into no other choice but to break them off. You already know they're going to exist. So you take an effort to shake them type of cats. You ain't got no business even frequenting the sphere that them type of cats are even in or around. You know who I'm talking about. Subscribe, hit that thumbs up. This is Dr. Little John from a G perspective. Peace.